Adam, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
Death Note. How did the story find you?
Well, yeah, it actually was just that. It was one of those things where, it'd been kind of up in the air for a few years because, quite a few years ago, my brother had called me on the phone and we were just chatting about stuff, and he kind of randomly, at the end of the conversation, said, "Oh, have you heard of Death Note?" And he was like, "If you ever adapt something into a movie, you should do that." And I just vaguely heard about it, but after that, I went and kind of sought it out. And at that point, I'd only done Your Next, and so my career wasn't really at a point where I could just go to a studio and say, "Hey, you guys are doing Death Note?" Yeah, and but they'd been kind of working on it for quite some time. Shane Black, Gus Van Sant were attached at different points, which is kind of a funny, for me to follow up into that.
Gus Van Sant, okay.
But so a couple years later, just randomly, Warner Brothers sent me the script. It was originally with them, and I was really excited immediately that it was there, and and then the rest is history, basically.
What about the story appealed to you? What made you? What attracted or what about the story attracted you to the project?
Well, I mean, it just has so many different opportunities thematically. The exploration of good and evil, and really what's in between, what's the gray area. Like that. Those were the elements that I was really excited about, and then being able to take that and just the movie just lends itself to being such a exciting kind of genre mashup. You're allowed to do from everything from action and horror to there's a little bit of comedy, there's a thriller element, there's a crime element, there's even like a musical element technically.
Almost teen romance a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. So it just kind of has everything. So it was pretty much a no-brainer.
You have an awesome cast. Talk about bringing such a diverse cast together, from William to Lakeith to Nat.
Yeah.
Talk about bringing the cast together.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the most difficult part about a film like this is anytime you're dealing with in a movie where you have high school kids, it's about finding actors who are actually young and really do feel like real kids, but have enough experience where they can really bring that to life and do something with it. And so the casting was definitely probably the most challenging thing that I've done for my films. And so much of it was about the chemistry that they had with each other and that kind of thing. But something like Ryuk, where we got Willem in, it was kind of an interesting thing where like early on, I actually had two different choices before Willem, and they were based on the fact that Ryuk himself kind of has this glam rocker vibe. So believe it or not, like
glam rocker vibe.
Yeah, exactly. And so believe it or not, like the first person that I had on our casting list was David Bowie, and then David Bowie died. And then the second person I had was Prince, not even joking. And then Prince died, and I was like, okay, we can't go out to any more of these type of guys, because we're literally creating our own casting Death Note. And then then Willem was at the top of the list, and fortunately he hasn't died yet, so we're doing good.
What was so many great scenes from this movie. What was the hardest scene for you to put together?
Probably the Ferris wheel finale, that's the biggest VFX sequence that I've ever done. And it was one of those things where, originally we were going to shoot at a real Ferris wheel, and they at the last minute they kind of were like, you can't shoot here, because it basically implies that the Ferris wheel might fall over or something. And so we were in this place where we had to kind of create our own Ferris wheel from scratch. And I was very nervous about that because I come from this sort of indie world where you just don't have money for VFX, and so you just don't do them,
right,
because there's no guarantee that they're going to be good. But with that one, that was one of those things where I actually came out of it and I felt like I'd kind of moved up to the next level where I'd gotten past the green screen challenge, because I'm not gonna lie, when I first got onto the set and you got your actors and they're just in front of this green screen for some stuff, I was just like, oh my God, this is, I mean, because you just seen that go bad so many times in movies, and that terrified me. But through the process of working through this, we were able to kind of figure out the right lenses and all the textures you can put in front of the lens and stuff to really kind of help sell that. And so hopefully this will prepare me for my next film, which is going to be very VFX heavy.
Well, you did it. It worked.